So, first of all, I'm sorry this has taken so long. I had this done a while ago, and I wasn't sure whether it was actually going to be a submittal for the show, or to have you guys come to Naples, or if it was more of a thank you and an acknowledgement to you both, because I have a hard time talking about it. I get really choked up when I share with people, how we were together and how we continue to be together and how you just have been there. But the amazing thing is, it wasn't that you were just there for me. I mean, you've been there for thousands, and it continues to happen. So anyway, let me get back to what I was saying. I'm going to try to keep this concise because I got to get this done tonight. It's not tonight anymore. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Or what is it? Yeah, 2 o'clock Eastern time. So my wife is a doctor, and she's a corporate doctor. She works for a company here called Arthrex. They make medical devices. And she works in a cadaver lab, and she does medical education for other orthopedic surgeons. Anyway, they're still open and operating, and so I'm whispering because she's sleeping in there. She would get up in the morning, be getting ready for work, and I would still be in here working as the sun was coming up, and she would come in and say, as my soulmate and as a doctor, that I got to stop doing that. She'd be like, you have to get some sleep. You've got to go to bed. You've got to get some sleep. So there were many sleepless nights, and I know you're doing it all the time, and you just haven't stopped. And the two of you have just, you're really perfect for each other, by the way, and good balance for each other. Amanda, I like how you pulled him off the show today to make sure that he ate. But it reminds me a lot of Michelle and I's relationship too. All right, I keep going off on these tracks, but I am going to get this done for real. The way you have talked about numbers in a business. Okay, so this whole thing has come a long way, because first it was all about PPP and survival, and I remember that, the elation I felt when I got the PPP, and I knew you were responsible for that. I knew you made that happen for us. And you had called it, I think Tony said something about it too, like there was this euphoria, elation, like this great sensation, like relief, but it was so short-lived. Because the next day or 2 days later, there was just this whole other wave of new challenges and new obstacles that we were going to have to deal with. But you keep being a few steps ahead, if not further, than all of us. And I just love that, because I can see what's coming. And as long as I've been in this business, as long as I've been around, recessions and problems, I've never had this kind of guidance before. And the way you talk about numbers, first of all, The Prophet is one of my absolute favorite shows. I love that show. Has changed my life. And there are still missing pieces for me, and there have been over time. I love numbers, and I love the way you talk about numbers. The way you put them in context. I think you were driving around in the car last week when you were, pretty sure it was a car, you were driving in the car. One of the conversations where you were talking about the perspective of way to put cost of goods sold and the classifications. And while I knew accounting from many years ago, like the basics of it, the way you spoke it spoke to the business world about numbers. And I've never gotten that from an accountant. I've had a few different accountants over the years, and they all want to put my business into their bucket, which fits the world of taxes, I guess, or general so the information that I get from them was always never super useful to me. So you're speaking a language, man, I just love. I'm sucking it up. It really makes a huge difference for me. So one of the areas has been one of the challenges has always been having a good handle, because I don't always trust the way they put the numbers in there. Like, not that I think they're wrong, their classifications of it drive me crazy, because it's never given me a true feel. And the reason for that, or one of the reasons for that, is we're a hair salon that operates very, very differently than most hair salons, because, well, I'm sure everybody says it about their business, but operationally. So first of all, let me back up a little bit. My background is, I didn't go to, I'm not a hairstylist. I am a beauty school dropout, for real, no joke. It wasn't my aspiration to ever be in this business. I went to school for computers many, many years ago, and computers were not really what they are today. It was in the 80s, so they were just in the very beginning stages, in the I guess it would be Bill Gates' beginnings, like a little bit after that, or when Michael Dell was building them in his garage, we were too, so that kind of thing. He did a little better than me. Anyway, I was working for the Space Center, and at the time, and the Space Shuttle blew up in '86, and I didn't have a job because they laid off everybody in that area, because that's the area that I was working in. And my father, who had always wanted me to be in the business, asked me to, I wasn't working, he asked me to come check out the business. He said, "Son, you're gonna love it. It's a great business, you're absolutely gonna love it. A lot of women, you're gonna love the women." I had no interest in it at all, but I didn't have a job, so I took him up on it. Went to school, beauty school, for about 2 or 3 months. It was a disaster. So first of all, my father's just extremely talented stylist. I mean, he's good. He can, he's got artistic flair, and he was just amazing. He had just so much talent, so much artistic talent. I had none. So it was pretty embarrassing in hair school, because all these kids expected me to be this like great prodigal son of Robert. Like I was going to be this amazing hair. I couldn't even hold the comb or brush. It was really bad. So I dropped out, and I assisted. I shampooed hair, and did back of the house stuff, and he didn't pay me. He said I had to work for tips only. So he was old school Italian, and he had to earn everything in his book, is the way he was, and which I so much appreciate from him. He was tough, and he was always out to teach a lesson. Even when I wasn't ready for the lesson, he was always out to teach one. Anyway, in my relationship with the business world back then, so then I kind of worked my way into figuring out that I could work the back of the house, he could work the front of the house, and do what he loved, which is just to cut hair. And my sister and he both, my sister's a colorist, and he was a cutter. They could work out front, and I could do the back of the house stuff, and we were much smaller then. So it brought a different perspective. But one of the things it always drove me crazy about the business was it was strictly commission. So you never really had a flow of people that were always competing against each other. You had, commission business. They're fighting for clients. If my client doesn't like what I'm doing to them, and they see somebody better next to me, they'll switch chairs, and I just lost business to this person right here, which might be dinner or groceries for the week. So there was always this competitiveness. So many years ago, I talked about the idea of salaries, and salaries with the opportunity to earn more money, but because they've done this in this business, but the opportunity to make more money based on guests retained in the business, not necessarily to me. So whatever guest I get, they don't have to love me. They just have to love our business. So say I get somebody who, I'm not great at pixie haircuts, but they're in my chair, and I said, "Listen, we're not a good match. I love you, and I want you to stay in our business, but over here is Christy, and she's excellent at those haircuts. So I'd like you to go to her. I think you'd be better, and it won't hurt me. It didn't affect my paycheck." So that requires a whole different level of managing the business. They never had any benefits, so I made sure they had health insurance, made sure they had 401k. Now, we've had a lot of longevity with a lot of employees. They've been here a long time, and they're getting paid good salaries. And the challenge for me has always been finding the right financial partner so I can get the metrics down. And operationally, because I'm working with mostly artistic people, the majority, I don't have a lot of people who, work from the logic, I wouldn't say logic side, but just the, the right brain, left brain kind of thing. They're artists, and so that's made the operations side sort of a lot of weight on me. I don't have a lot of support staff around, so I love the crew. I love the business because we get to make such a huge difference. Let me check something to make sure I start recording. Yes. Okay, good. So where was I? Okay. Where's the business now? So my sister and I bought the business from my father over time. My mother passed away in 2001. She was young. She died of cancer. She was 57. My father is in heaven now too. He passed away in 2015. We had purchased the business from him before that. He had stopped working about 2002. And let's see. So we bought the business from him. Let me talk about challenges. So we have 3 locations. We have 45 people, probably the leanest we've ever been. It's a good time to be lean right now. We were lean before we got here because we were probably carrying about 55 last season. We've had more stores. We had one in the Ritz-Carlton, we had one in the Hyatt. Over time, we had a hotel salon. Let's see, why did I tell you that? Where am I with this? Okay, challenges. Well, obviously, one of the next big hurdles or challenges that we're going to have to deal with, because PPPs are going to run out. It's not going to be much longer. And we're going to be very limited as to the number of people we can bring in. So paying salaries the way we do, it means that instead of them being able to see 2 guests in an hour, like 2 colors at one time, it's very likely that for a while we're not going to be able to do that. So we're going to have to readjust our program in the way we pay. Now that sounds like a simple fix. I don't even know if that's going to be our biggest challenge. I don't know right at this point. There's a lot of unknown. But I'm super intrigued by the way you communicate numbers. I love it. I'm so inspired by it in a way like I never have been. I'm in the process of changing our other accountant retired, and I'm changing another one. Our accountant before that didn't have their bookkeeper didn't have things on digitally. She would have to scan and send me the data on. And this was just a couple of years ago, so that was like too much. I needed instant access to it, and I don't love it because I feel like I'm looking backwards too much. I feel like I'm looking too far back. I'm not getting enough real-time information. So I don't have the best handle on our numbers, and I know that's what Marcus always says. You got to know your numbers. I mean, I know the top line numbers, the numbers in the middle, the numbers, like month to month, the nets on every month. It's not 100% flat, and I don't have the way to measure it the way you're talking about. It sounds just absolutely brilliant. I love the way you talked about, putting the owners' compensation items, because all I've ever heard is like, oh, they've never talked about classifying that in a particular way like you did. You were talking about, putting those down at the bottom or putting them in one classification. Those are owners per, I don't know the word you use, but they're benefits of some sort, but they still got to go in the P&L, but maybe they're not directly operational. The way you classified them, I thought was really very interesting to me. So anyway, I'd love to have you take a look at us. And I'm not doing this for the show. This is not an audition because I know I'm late. You've been looking at a lot of other people. I would just love to have you here. I'd love to have, of course I would love to be a part of that, but I know that because this is late and you've been working through a lot and other people have, put things in, maybe another time. But anyway, I did want to get this in because I wanted you to know that I'm so grateful, so appreciative, so thankful for the both of you. You're really special human beings, and I don't know why God led me to you, but He did perfectly. Something.
Me in front of the camera way too long. I work from behind the camera, not in front of it.
Hi. Okay, it's 1:55 in the morning, and there's a story behind this hour of the morning. It's because I want to introduce you to somebody who I met at about this hour, maybe a month ago. I don't even know how long ago. It was the beginning of this whole crisis. I think it's somebody you should know, and a little bit you should know about them, because just incredible human beings, special people. That's why I wanted to take the time to introduce you to them and to tell you a little bit about them, because they're special to me and special to us, because they've been there every step of the way. So this is JJ, and this is his soulmate, Amanda. And I was lucky enough to stumble across a YouTube video in the beginning of this whole crazy time that we're in. Terrified of what could happen, what might happen, not knowing the future of how things were going to work out, but desperately looking for a way to make their best choice and do the right thing, and found this video at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. CPA, just sharing information online just because, not for any money. He wasn't doing it for anything like that. He was just making a video for his own clients to just educate them on the process. And at the same time, I was looking for answers and happened to find this video, and watched it intently, because you're going to say that he just keeps giving, and helping selflessly, not for a nickel. Incredible human being. And every step of the way, I kept watching his videos, because he'd put so many out daily with the different updates and the changes that were creating a law. And before it was actually a law, when they were still fighting over it in the Senate, at the very beginning in March, he's been working on it. And he would have a video every day, and I would write comments, and he would, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I would ask questions, and he'd be responding to me, giving me answers and direction of how to make this thing happen, how to navigate this new system that no one knows anything about. And he guided and led us to the right way to do things. We were blessed to be in the first wave of the PPP program, which is a godsend to us. It's such a blessing to all of us. And I have this man and woman to thank. They were a huge part in making this happen. Of course, our bank was great too, but we wouldn't have gotten to our bank or known what to do with our bank had JJ and Amanda not been there. So he continues to do it. He continues to be there. He's there for thousands of people. I think he had maybe 1,000 or fewer people, subscribers in the beginning when I first met him. At whatever hour in the morning, it's over 20,000 now. One of those real special connections and special relationships that I'm forever grateful for. So check this guy out and this lady. This special lady. His soulmate, Amanda. Thank you, both of you. I love you both. And you'll never know how much I appreciate what you have done for us and what you've done for hundreds and thousands of people. I know it's been that many, and you've impacted our family of 45 plus 7,000 clients plus the whole community here. The ripple effect that you're creating in the world. I can never thank you enough. And I look forward to a lifelong friendship and relationship with you guys. Blessed to have you in our lives. Love you guys.
So here's the guy you guys have been waiting for.
All right. Well, today I'm wearing my Captain America shirt because it's Friday. When I go out on the weekends, I've got this jacket, and I thought, it's gonna go better. So I'm trying to be a Friday afternoon, JJ the CPA. Thanks for joining me. Here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you about something special I'm doing. And I don't mean like, oh, I got a funnel and now you can buy this and send me this and then you can do this. Because that's not what this is about.
Money. You know what it be. Tell them all I do is work.
Hey, Coop. Can you turn it down? I'm doing a video.
Here we go, Coop. Right down the park, man. Santa Fe has won it all. I got a special announcement today. Because my son, who is 16 years old, 6'5", lefty pitcher for Santa Fe Wolves, pitched today in the state championship for 6A high school, and they won!
This will be literally, no joke, the most important video I've ever recorded in my career.
All right. I got something to say. Yeah.
I also want you to know that the health and the safety of everyone is #1 priority. So we're a small business, and there's about 50 families in this small business that are supported. This is our life, this is our livelihood, this is our love, it's our passion. It's our 40th year of business this year right now. Thank you. We appreciate you. And that is that there's nothing more powerful, nothing more resilient than this amazing community. That became very evident to me a couple years ago when we had Hurricane Irma. They're going on. If there's anything that we can do for you or any way we can support you, please send me a message. My information will be down below as well. I really appreciate whatever you had to do to get yourself through this week. And I mean all of you, those of you that were in the salons and those of you that are staying home. I know you're both dealing with so much inside, which is absolutely going to happen. We are going to make it happen. Hell, we've been through 4 recessions, 3 hurricanes, my mom dying, my dad dying, a lot of... I wrote to Senator Rubio and Senator Scott last night to say, make this happen. Please make this happen. Oh. We will come back strong. We've done it before. We know how to do it. When you put this group together, nothing can get in our way. We know how to make shit happen. We're not a big company. We don't have a bunch of big executive salaries. I appreciate you, and we will get through this. All right, so no more Madison Reed. So I'm just going to recap. We don't know about next week. Of course, we don't know what the future is yet. Number 2 is, okay, so if we're not, what does that mean to you? Let's see here. Oh, I know. This is very, very important. Please, this is our family. You're my family, and I need to make sure that you're taken care of. Need to make sure that you're okay. I got to go see my wife. Like, stuff changes by the hour. Literally the other day, after I got done posting the video or recording it, Governor DeSantis came on and, changed things. The PPP program changed. We had it all in, and it was one way, and it was going to go one way, and it changed. Being nimble right now and being agile and adapting. Please have some grace and some patience with the process and work on that with the people around you too. We have a lot of overhead. Aside from the 50 or so people that are a part of the family, we have a lot of overhead. We have very high rents. We have all our utilities, a $10,000 color bill. I got a letter from I got an email from one of our landlords. Well, it was a notification that our rent at that location is going up $500 or $600, $6,000 a year, $500 or $600 a month. So in the middle of all that was, hey, we're going to be charging you an extra $6,000 a year. By the way, I need an extra $500 a month. And so I could only laugh and making a request that you be an advocate for positivity and optimism. I'm in the garage, or the front of the garage, a little hot in there to leave the garage door closed. And why I'm out here and kind of whispering a little bit is because Michelle's in there sleeping. I don't want to wake her up. Questions you have about the PPP, that's our pay or unemployment, or how any of those relate, because we're going to go over more of that tomorrow night, because that's been my #1 goal here, is that everyone stays employed. Nobody's been laid off. Even though technically you're not working, nobody's been laid off. But you say, yeah, but we're not working, and what about we're not going to be able to work till May, and I didn't get a paycheck? Well, that's what we're working on. That's been my #1 goal most of all, is that you didn't have to go do that. You didn't have to go to unemployment. Okay, from the garage. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Girl, I'm in California. I got my license. He was my first baby. My puppy. First baby. You know what I'm saying? Look at all the ears. Is this going to be like all the RP meetings?
Well, not right. I'll get out. I'm not part of this.
Can you hear me? Wave. Just make sure I'm on. The reason why I think it benefits us, and I think it's the best option for us, is that it is close to or at your regular rate of pay. They have all their applications in. They're just putting them through one at a time. And
I have a question. So, Rob, just to clarify, tomorrow's payroll, we won't see that tomorrow then? The ones that did work?
No, you will. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Venmo money out. But what's kind of odd to me in this whole thing is that landlords, everybody's taking a hit. Everybody up the chain is taking a hit, but landlords don't for some reason. I don't get why they don't. It stops right with landlords. Like the biggest portion of their bills are food costs usually, not payroll. We're one of the few businesses where it's you are the business. It's made up of people. So our people are the business. So none of this money that we're getting, it can only go to people. So that's why it's great, and I want to have it work for us, because that's why I think it's the best option. It's just my goal initially was to have everything done by tomorrow. That's not happening. It's clear that that's not going to happen with all the fiasco that's going on with the banks. I'm grateful for the fact that we're with First Florida Integrity, because I know that I'm talking to a human being there, not an 800 number. Anybody sleeping? Did anybody sleep? Maria, you okay? Look like you're sleeping. Yeah.
Hey, Rob, I have a question.
Yes.
I still don't get it.
My dad keeps harassing me for signing up for unemployment, and I keep telling him that I can't sign up because Rob's going to do the PPD. What do I tell my dad? Because Bob
You're gonna
Duncan
get paid.
is
You're
relentless.
getting paid. You're getting paid on Venmo tomorrow.
Right?
More than you would.
Okay.
Unemployment's only $275 still.
I'm not in a hardship. I don't know how many of us are in hardships, but Rob, thank you so much for what you're doing. Because, and as my husband's listening to this too, you know, he also works for a small business. What you're doing is going above and beyond what a lot of people are doing. So we are very blessed and very thankful to have a boss like you because you care. And like, I literally can rest my head at night knowing that I work for an amazing man like you and an amazing family. So thank you for what you're doing. Love you and I trust you and I know everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, Mike's right here the whole time and has been like, damn, can I work for you? Listening to all this.
So the smart thing to do here is to support you. You are doing all the work that you can do. And please, just be patient. There is nothing on your hands. You have to wait for all that money to come because you are the guy here. Whatever you said that I have to do, I'm going to do that.
That money, that unemployment money might look really good at the moment, especially right now in the situation you're in. So please, let me know. I think it's awesome because it'll give such peace of mind over this time period where it's crazy. It's so weird being at home all this time. I mean, it's a whole new lifestyle, and it's just, you know, I don't know. It's a big adjustment. It's a big adjustment, and I can't imagine what it's like with kids 24 hours a day. Like, I don't know if anybody's ever done that before. I mean, you got to be going out of your mind. I know you love your kids, but boy, that'd be tough. To not have a break, because I'm isolated too, and I don't know what's going on with all of you, and that not seeing you, hearing you, being with you is really hard because that's how we get us. That's how I know where we're at as a culture, a company, and a family is when I'm with you, and not being with you is hard. You know, like it's hard to know where we are, how you are, how life is, and so I'd like to hear your summary or a sentence or two after this, if you can do that.
Goodbye, Father. You're the best father. I love you.
All right, love you all. I'll see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
There we go.
I had to tell you this. I had to come on and give you the great news because I'm going to be able to sleep tonight, and hopefully you will too. We have accomplished a hurdle. Today we got approved. I got the letter, the message from the bank that it's been submitted and approved. That's a huge deal.
Check the box, independent contractor. And what I hear you saying is you're just using a credit card as in your personal credit card. So if you're not filing Schedule C and you're reporting that income, then you would go for 1099.
Robert at Philadelphia Salon.
All right.
JJ for President or Secretary of Department of Treasury. We'll never be able to thank you enough. We got approved today.
Oh.
No questions asked.
Yes.
You had me so over-prepared, I think I talked the bank.
All right. Well, you have been wearing and carrying that stress for all of your employees like a wonderful business owner that you are. And I'm so relieved for you. I'm excited for you. We have had comments back when I could keep up with comments. And so you've been watching for a long time. So I really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support.
JJ, can't thank you enough, my friend. Thank you. And Amanda too. I know you guys are working together and you work together really, really well. By the way, even when one of you gets hungry, you work off each other really good. So, all right, here we go. We are going into the bank with a mask on and sunglasses. This used to be illegal.
All right, hey, have a great night. I appreciate you. And don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.
No.
That's actually how it works.
No. You've never met a human being like JJ. JJ, thank you for giving and giving and giving selflessly, tirelessly, and being so understanding, so empathetic, so kind. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. You're helping save lives right now. In the last 3 weeks, being up at 2 o'clock in the morning and not knowing what to do or how to do it, you were always there. You always happened to be thinking whatever we were thinking and putting something together for us. I'd turn on YouTube and there you were with an answer, like prayers being answered. Can't thank you enough. You've never met a human being like this man. Thank you, JJ.
In that period of time, this business spent $128,000. They spent more than the $75,000.
And don't you ever forget, you've never met a CPA quite like me.
Thank you. Stay well, and God bless.